Those Geico commercials get crazier and crazier. We're back with Charles Tilley, author of Social Movement, 1764 to 2004, and a social movement expert. Charles, how are you doing tonight?
Great, Keith. Thanks for having me.
I'd like to ask you a couple questions about this social movement that we have been seeing springing up all across the country. They call themselves Students for Equal Tuition Rights. Can you tell me a little bit more about this group, also known as SETR?
Well, SETR is an organization that has been around for quite some time, and they are a social movement, I can tell you. They meet all of the characteristics of a social movement. One of the first being that a long-term campaign with specific tactics and wunk displays are frequently used.
Wunk display? Charles, what's a wunk display? If you could inform our uninformed viewers, please.
Well, wunk display is an acronym. It stands for worthiness, unity, numbers, and commitment. And I can tell you that all these have been implemented.
That's fascinating. I've never heard that term before. Now, you mentioned that this movement is using a specific set of tactics. The protest that we saw with our correspondent Justin Brooks didn't look very tactical. It looked just like a bunch of angry people gathered together, just kind of running through the streets. Can you please tell me what kind of tactics they're using?
Well, Keith, to the untrained eye, I can understand why someone would see it that way. But what these people are doing, they're showing mass protests. That's one tactic they're using. Another tactic they're using are hunger strikes, which have been used in many protests throughout history. An example I can think of off the top of my head is Gandhi and Cesar Chavez have all used this tactic. It's very effective. And they also train students in their local areas, so they really want this to be a grassroots effort. And it's not just in one central location. It's all over the country, and they're training students all over various universities.
That's right. They've been traveling from San Francisco to Washington, D.C. We had our correspondent with them in San Francisco last night. We'll have them in Washington, D.C. next week. And the hunger strike is fascinating. We'll show you footage of that later, but I just wanted to ask you two more questions. How long has this movement been around? You mentioned they've been around for a long time, and what is it that they actually want?
Well, this movement has been around for approximately 2 years now, and what they really want is equal tuition rights for every single child that is born to an undocumented citizen. And they want a federal law allowing this, and once that is implemented, that will force all states to allow equal tuition rights for all of its students.
Now, Charles, what do you mean by equal tuition rights?
Well, currently, these students are paying out-of-state tuition, even though they are living in that state. For instance, California, if you are one of these students that have an undocumented parent, you have to pay out-of-state rates, which is ridiculous because they are citizens themselves. So as you can see, it is very unfair, and this social movement is growing rapidly and will continue to grow until their demands are met.
Absolutely fascinating, Charles. Really, really amazing. I never heard so much about social movements in my life. We're going to turn it over to our correspondent, Justin Brooks, who's in Washington, D.C. with a person who's been on hunger strike for 15 days now. Now, human beings can live about 3 days without water and 3 weeks without food, so this person is about halfway to death from a hunger strike just to try and get Barack Obama to change federal policy. Justin, over to you.
How you doing today, Sebouh?
I realize the dangers of my situation, but I'm willing to sacrifice my situation so hopefully the word can get out there.
Are you homeless?
No. Do I look homeless?
And why are you out here?
Because I'm protesting against the federal government to pass laws to help people that are born in this country, that are citizens of this country, but do not get the equal rights in universities and schools all around the nation.
And I hear you've been on a hunger strike. How long has that been?
Too long. I'm hungry. Need something to eat. But it's for a good cause.
Hold on. Darn. Can I get another bag of chips, please? Thanks, Brad. Go on.
I just want the federal government to pass laws to give rights to people who already have natural rights in this country to go to universities and not pay out-of-state tuition.
I feel you on that.
So I'm calling on everybody in the world to pay attention, and Barack Obama to pay attention to the youth and to the people of this country, so we can get a motion to help all the people that are legal citizens that are not getting the same rights.
And you go to college where?
I go to college at Georgetown University.
So you heard it from here, folks. This guy was born, raised, he still lives here. He attends school. He's been suffering for 2 weeks without eating. Why am I eating chips right now? Because I'm hungry. But he's doing it for a better cause. Sebouh, Justin.
Fascinating. That Sebouh is a brave man. Interestingly enough, Barack Obama has actually seen this video and recorded one of his own, a response directly to Sebouh and the people of this country, talking about the importance of this issue and how he feels about it. Joe, can we cut to that footage?
Good morning, the United States of America. Up until this current moment of change, they said that we were too disillusioned as a country to come together under a common purpose. Now, I hear this current issue of this social movement that is taking place from San Francisco out here to now in Washington, D.C., of college students wanting equal rights with in-state tuition, although they are children of undocumented immigrants. Now I ask you, if you really believe that this is an issue that should be changed, I'm asking you to put forth the proper efforts needed to implement change in this country. One man cannot do this alone. We must come together as a country under this common purpose to implement change.
Inspirational words from our president. You know, after hearing what he said and really taking it to heart, I think I'm going to pick this up as a cause that I really want to fight for. I, Keith Boulderman, have now officially joined Students for Equal Tuition Rights. Thank you for watching tonight. Fascinating show. Once again, thanks for tuning in to CNN. Good night and good luck.